Hello everyone. This is a response to Uncle Vogter. And he just made a video where he did as good of an experiment as you can possibly do on this subject. He wanted to know what was the ratio between school shootings and church shootings in America. And the problem is, just doing a Google search and getting the number of hits for each of those, he found 300,000 for school shooting, 200,000 for church shootings. That has the problems of, well, Google isn't exactly an accurate count, and then one type of shooting could have more articles written about it, and then it has the problem of how these things were reported. Now, a reputable source for crime statistics in America would be the FBI's annual crime statistics report. And the problem there is the people that we would want to tell us, well, how many shootings happened at schools versus happened at churches, they don't tell us at all, because they'll tell us the location specifically for robbery and for burglary, right? But they won't keep statistics for murder and then let that out to the public. And it's strange that they don't, because they parse their data by age, by sex, by gender, and then they leave out the religion of the assailant or the victim. And I think that might have to do with not wanting to promote hate in America, because if they said, well, most of these crimes are happening in a certain denomination or a certain religion, being the assailant, then people would see that group as being criminals, maybe. Anyways, the reason why Vogter's doing this is to say that the argument that school shootings are happening because we're removing prayer and God from schools is bogus, because shootings happen at churches. And so I did the best I could to find some actual data for him. And where I found it was a guy that lives in my city of Colorado Springs. He used to work for Dr. James Dobson for Focus on the Family when Dr. Dobson ran that. But he moved to New Life Church, which is the large church in my city that looks like a UFO that's about to take off. It's so huge, it looks like they're actually making a spaceship. This guy, his name is Carl. Okay, Carl Chin. And he is basically the security advisor for New Life Church. And he's written a book about why churches should institute security protocols so that church shootings will be better handled when they do happen, and to try to prevent them. So he's been collecting data, which is mostly from self-reporting by people sending him stories. So his data is very incomplete, and he's been keeping this data since 1999. Okay, but again, it suffers from the problem of being self-reported, or him finding a news article on it, because there's a whole bunch of these incidents that would happen that he has never heard about. And the FBI, they have the added advantage of collecting all police reports and compiling them into one report, going through every precinct across the United States, whereas he has to rely on self-reporting. But just by taking his self-reported numbers, you can see that the number of church shootings is very low compared to the total number of shootings. And that would be taking the total number for 13 years that he's compiled and then comparing it to just 1 year in the U.S. And what I've come up with is church shootings based on Carl Chin's figures and the FBI's crime statistics. Church shootings might comprise 4% of the shootings that are reported to Carl Chin as being in a church. Okay, because we're taking the total number from the FBI of murders, period, during that period of time, and then, taking what's reported to Carl Chin as being happening in a church. But I will leave links in the description box to where I found this data. You guys can work it out for yourselves. Be aware that Carl Chin's data is presented as the entire 13 years since he's been looking at this, and you have to basically adjust for only having a few years of FBI data available online, and I was just projecting out for the past year being, similar to all the years previous to it, and even that's wrong because violent crime has been dropping as a trend recently. It was going up for a while in the last decade, and then it's been declining recently. So, yeah, 4% is where I am. About 3.8% is what I actually came up with. That the shooting either happened on church property or at a church function. So, but still, that's shootings that happen in a church at all, I guess. Comment below if you can make anything else out of the statistics or find other statistics that might lend a little bit more insight into whether or not school shootings happen more often than church shootings.